to Patrick Troughton, the biography. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I finally read through Patrick Troughton's biography, and now I'm here to talk about it, pretty much just to close out the month of the Second Doctor, because I can do that. Finally, officially. Because basically, if I can't read the biography for a person, I can't talk about it. Just establishing that rule going forward, because I have at least the classic era to go through. Future Doctors, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, really quick, first off, my reading experience for this was on the Kindle. Not an actual tablet-like thing, but the Amazon app for reading ebooks. Because if you Google this book, it's very expensive in an actual physical copy, just so you know. But via the app, I got it for like $8. So yeah, just saying. And my thoughts on the app and ebooks. You know, where I can, I would prefer to read an actual hard copy. Like, I'm taken to highlighting, underlining, taking notes, dog-earing the pages, etc. And I get, in the app, you can certainly highlight and take notes and all that stuff, but I just prefer my way. So, those are my thoughts there. But moving on to, the actual biography, because this is for the month of the Second Doctor, I'll start off just establishing where is the relevant Doctor Who stuff. And basically, that falls between chapters 7 through 9, and that, cover his time as the Second Doctor. And then after that, there's little sprinklings of, oh, hey, he did convention appearances, he did guest appearances, back on the show again for the 10th, 20th, and, the one special, the 2 Doctors. So, yeah. As well as convention appearances. Sorry. So again, chapter 7 through 9, and then there's just some stuff after that. Now, for those of you who are interested in Patrick Troughton as a whole, as a person, obviously, the whole biography is going to have you covered. Pretty much from the early life, through school, the military service, working in the theater, getting married, having kids, jumping on the television bandwagon, for performing arts, getting Doctor Who, his performances after Doctor Who, convention appearances, blah, blah, blah. As well as more personal stuff, which, well, I guess I'll get to now. But, really quick, if you don't know a lot about Mr. Troughton's personal life, you might be a little upset about what I talk about in a minute. But, basically, Mr. Troughton apparently led a double life. In that, he was married to his first wife, Margaret. He had 3 children. And apparently not long after the birth of the 3rd child, well, he had fallen in love with another woman known as Ethel, who he referred to as Bunny for some reason. And, yeah, so he kind of left his original family to be with second family, and then, and, I'm not even kidding here, I think it was 1975, the last 12 years of his life, hey, I met another person that I've fallen in love with. Although, at that point, he actually got the official divorce from his first wife, so that he could marry this 3rd woman. So, yeah, honestly, finding out about that stuff for Mr. Troughton made him very unlikable and despicable, in my opinion. But, to rein that in a bit, he wasn't a total monster. He didn't leave Margaret and the kids and go, well, I'm gonna have fun with my, with my mistress. No, he had a family with Ethel, Bunny, whatever you want to call her. And he divided up his time as best he could between, acting, his work, his first family, second family, and so he did do some good despite, hey, I've got some side action. And honestly, that just leaves me very confused as to, do I hate this guy's guts? Or do I say, hey, at least he wasn't a total monster? And honestly, I just have to look at it now, from 30 years after his death, and just say, hey, it doesn't matter anymore. He's long gone. So, take that as you will. I'm not condoning the behavior, because that is just crap. But me being angry about it now, it's not going to do anything. And really quick, one more awesome, interesting thing about the biography is it was actually written by his son Michael. I want to say the third son from the first family. You know, he put a lot of time and research into this. You know, he talks about his personal experiences as well, because he went on to do acting, and he actually got to work with his father. And one of the things that I really liked was he talked about how they had a better relationship, like later on in life, you know, when he was an adult and he was acting. Because he didn't get to see him as much, and just, I don't know, it's it's cool. And one of the things that I liked was he didn't throw in a lot of bias, you know, either for or against Mr. Troughton. You know, he just talked about what went on. You know, he talked about his personal experiences with his father, and yeah, and I have to give him a lot of respect for that, because I'm sure it wasn't easy talking about some of those things. Like, chapter 5 was almost where I stopped. Because it talks about, you know, whenever he's leaving the first family and going to move in with Bunny. You know, one of the children's holding onto his pant leg, begging him not to go. You know, that really killed me. And I talked about it on Facebook, because I was like, so just emotionally wrecked by that. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You have a wife, you have kids, and you did that to them. Honestly, what the fuck? Sorry. But, you know, Michael, you did an excellent job. I hope you see this video. I'll try and reach you via Twitter or something and let you know, hey, I read your book and I liked it. I'm a random guy in the US, so that doesn't really matter, but hey, I like your book. I like what you said. And I'm glad I got to know your father better through your book and my research. And, you know, going back to looking at Patrick, honestly, like, one of the big things that I got from this book was, you know, he was a very likable, good person. You know, his fellow actors liked him because he was always nice, good, and supportive. You know, he played jokes a bit with people, but it was good-natured fun. He wasn't a jerk. You know, hence it's kind of hard for me to say, oh, I hate him or I love him. Because, you know, he's just, he did bad things, but he's a good person. It's weird. You know, he's very professional, and honestly, he contributed a lot to the Doctor Who series. Like, first off, he showed us regeneration can work. Like, honestly, without his good performance as a replacement for Hartnell, we might not have had, you know, the 26 seasons that we got of the series. It might have ended at season 4. Sorry. But he did well, and I appreciate him for that. One of the other big things behind the scenes was, you know, he took on the regeneration seriously. Like, he did some research, he pitched different character ideas to the showrunners, and eventually, you know, they figured on who they were going to work with. And there are some funny, interesting ones. I'm not going to spoil them, but trust me, just look at the Wikipedia page and you'll be like, what were they thinking? Because I'm pretty sure one was a bit not PC, if you know what I'm saying. Whew. Glad they skipped that, by the way. But, one of the other big things was, I think it was during season 5. Yeah, season 5. You know, Mr. Troughton and Barry Letts, one of the other bigwigs of the show, talked to, like, the showrunner or something about shortening the seasons down from the 44 episodes down to, like, 25 to 26. Because, you know, you're doing a weekly show, 44 episodes, that's most of the year that you're working on this thing. But you cut it, like, in half, 25-ish, You know, you have a lot more time to write things, rehearse things, get things shot properly, and it works so much better. And honestly, for those who do retrospectives 50 years later, me, it's very nice to only have to watch 25 episodes instead of 44. Unfortunately, this practice didn't get put into effect until season 7, you know, and Mr. Troughton had stepped down, but, you know, he gave some good, important feedback to the series to help it, you know, work better. And I appreciate him for that. And just, yeah, so, honestly, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, you know, Troughton as the second Doctor, you know, pick it up. Like I said, chapter 7 through 9 are the Doctor Who stuff. You know, if you want to learn more about this guy, do some research. He's cool. He's interesting. You know, I'm not sure what else to say, but, you know, I'm glad I got to do this project. I'm glad I get to share his story with you guys. And I'm glad I got to overcome one of my first major obstacles with the job of the character investigator, which is, you know, finding a character that you like, you love, and finding out that they did something horrible that you don't agree with, and you're just like, what do I do? You know, it's a tough challenge, but I got through it. You know, unfortunately, it was with somebody I really, 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 really liked, but hey, that's life, it happens. So, in closing, everyone, I liked the book. Michael, you did an excellent job. You did your father proud. And, yeah, so thank you for that. You are awesome. You are the best. I don't know. And anyway, with all of that said, you know, as always, everyone, have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course, remember, every character has a story to tell. I'm Valiant Bradley James, the character investigator.